Welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Aurovillians. And today we're going to conclude with this wonderful series. I think we've close to 13 or 14 interviews with B. Namaste, B.
Namaste, Nara.
And
Thank
welcome
you.
to
Thank you so much. It's been so good. We've had such a great time, and I've learned so much, because between us we have seen a lot, and we haven't both seen the same thing. So in sharing, it's very nice, very nice, and we can endlessly speak about the pioneers in Oroville. There are so many of them, and so many of them have passed away also. And someday, are we going to pass away also?
I'm not counting on it right now.
Yeah.
I have a lot more
Yeah.
time for Mother to work on me.
Very good, yeah, because even the sense of immortality is there, but we will trade in for compost eventually, and I hope these stories will help people to understand how much grace and how much love there is in Oroville, and always will be. And we think of, we were just thought of Yusuf, one of the great pioneers who did so much for Oroville, and in the Portus with Alain Bernard and Christine, took care of all the money, and he took care of it so well. And then involved in the setting up the administration of Oroville and going to Delhi. He went so often to Delhi to work with Kirit and work with the government to try to get things organized. I think that was one of the reasons he, fell sick. He just worked so hard. And those long trips, those trips to Delhi in those days on the train, it took a couple days to get there. And that's a long train ride. And in the summers and in the winters, it was something. So he did that so often, and then when he had his stroke, and he was together with Dorothy the architect, and she was so loving, and he had those good years, and we used to visit him, and it was, very special. Very special. And Dorothy, she always did her work. She did so much work so carefully. And even recently, she got involved in something. We were actually working together because we had this waste problem of trying to do zero waste, trying to get rid of all the landfill. And we have all this styrofoam, the thermocol, the polystyrene that goes into the waste stream, and they throw it all into landfill. And that white stuff, it powders and goes into the water table and becomes poisonous. It should always be recycled, and there's a wonderful way to recycle it that even I would call it upcycling. It is very useful in cement, because it makes the cement lighter and it gives it more thermal insulation properties. And so it's the perfect thing to use. So she did these tests with making just little slabs, maybe 2 by 2 feet, and mixing the styrofoam and the cement and a little mold, and she made blocks. And she really developed that technology, and she got it going. And she did a remarkable thing in the Udevi school, because the Udevi school has these tile roofs. And in the summer, the tile gets very hot, and it's very hot there. Also, the tile also sometimes tends to leak, and it doesn't really absorb the sound in the classroom. So she fitted these little 2 by 2 slabs, they're just a couple inches thick, on the ceilings of all the classrooms in Udevi. And suddenly they were cool, and quiet. And in just a small thing like that from waste, she did this incredible thing. And then that technology that she worked on, she passed it over to Prasad, Jyoti Prasad, who has this Oro Mira and does construction materials, and now he's making walls. And he made some very big blocks also. So she really did a lot of good work.
And this is the Dorothy who's been there since the beginning.
Since the beginning. You see those old...
She sang in our choir. She sang many times. She sang with us.
Oh, yeah.
I always admired her. She was very...
Well, she had that strength, you know.
Very strong lady, yes.
You saw her in those early pictures of when they're building Oro Model. They were making Roger Angers houses, you know, with those big swirls. So they had to put the steel in there. And I remember those with Andre Hababu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she is there, you know, they're bending the steel up there in the full sun. You know, that's 40 some years ago. And she's still going strong, still working, you know, doing architecture projects and things. Yeah, she was involved. They have a new place in Oroville, the Lakshmi Home. Have you heard of that place? It's a assisted care building. So for old Orovillians can go there who, you know, can no longer really take care of themselves, and they can have assisted care. And that building is just now finishing. In fact, I think they had, of course, planned to have it finished maybe 8 months ago, but I think just now it's finishing. And some people have already booked their rooms there, bought in some rooms, because you know, we never really planned for the old age things in Oroville, because we were the youth that never ages. And it was difficult for some people when they got older if they didn't have family to care for them. So certain people we did care for, like William Netter. We had to make a more or less ad hoc arrangement for him, but it worked out. But now it's more and more with the health services. They're really getting all that together. So that is another nice feature, that in Oroville there's that understanding that people will age and they may need some help.
I wanted to get back to Yusuf for just a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Do you recall that he was the finest tennis player in Oroville?
No.
He was the best.
Oh, I didn't know that part. And now that you mention, I knew he played tennis, but I didn't realize.
He could beat anyone.
Oh, okay. Well, tennis was, of course, a whole subculture in Oroville.
Yes.
We could go on, and Chris Gray, of course, loved tennis. He was in there, and Frederick, and all those people, you know, Croquette, all those. There's a whole tennis culture in Oroville, as there are in all of these things. You know, we had a badminton thing going. That must have been in the 80s, late 80s. And we got to the point where, you know, badminton was not a matter of life and death. It was more important. So all day long we would, you know, kind of rush through our work to get to this badminton match in the evening. And we played, of all places, we played in the Greenbelt. We played in Samriti, because the great champ of badminton was Alan Herbert, Oroville Today Alan.
Oh.
He is the best ever. And so we had one court, and we had to schedule even, you know. So many people wanted to play, and we had fierce competitions for years. For years it went on. Years and years, and all kinds of people played there. Steve, and so many people played that in badminton, and that was, of course, another subculture that went on. But then Alan, unfortunately, at one point he hurt his knee very badly, and that then he had to have it, you know, operated on. Could never play again. Never play again.
And then there was basketball.
Oh yeah, that's what.
And I participated a lot.
Okay,
in
will
that.
you tell about basketball
Well,
because
I can only tell one story, and that's about Frederick. We were playing a pretty intense game, and I took a long shot from outside, and Frederick said, "For an old man, you're not so bad." I was 30-something years old.
What would he say now?
I don't know. But Certitude was the place
Yeah.
for basketball.
Yeah.
Now I guess there's soccer and so many other things.
Yeah, but still basketball's a big thing. My friend Angelo, he's totally into it. He came recently, Angelo, and he's in that basketball scene.
He and I were very close in California at Lodi.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the gardener there.
Yes, he was. He was. And now he's in the Oroville Council.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, what people do, and how they change and how they go through their artistic phases, their cultural phases, their work in the garden, administration. That's the beauty. That's the thing of Oroville. All the dimensions of the being get a chance over time, and that's the enriching part of it. And to have so many people from so many cultures coming constantly, and it becomes even more intense now. You have experts practically in every field that will come through over a period of a year. You will find something remarkable, that comes here. Things constantly coming. And we just have this expert now. I went to dinner last night. This guy, Ivan is his name, and he's from Canada, and he has studied intentional communities, currency, alternative economies for more than 20 years. And now he came and spontaneously with some Orovillians, they're doing the Green Papaya Collective. So they've got a moneyless economy going with exchange and education, and it's just getting going, and it's great. And so I was interested to talk to him about that aura. So
this is the currency of Oroville?
Well, it's the only one.
It's the only one.
I mean, if you want to count the rupee or the dollar or the euro, you can, but this one has the banyan tree on one side and the urn on the other, and all the symbols. It's this currency started on 2011, which was my birthday, and so we launched it, and it's legal. What happened was I had to go to the lawyer 3 times. And make sure that I wouldn't go to jail, or Oroville wouldn't be arrested, or the foundation, or I wouldn't be deported. So it's a debit card, and debit cards are legal in India. So it's like a gift card. I called it a gratitude card, I think, and it's part of a group which I called it the, what did I call it? The collect, something, it's written there, I think, the Coopérative Cosmique. I put it in French because the mother, she had the Revue Cosmique.
There it is, Coopérative Cosmique.
Yeah. So we're all members of that, of course, because we're part of the cosmos. And the mother wrote that book, was the editor of the Revue Cosmique, and she had that vision, of course, for human unity in the world that is happening now. So I wanted to connect the money to that, and it has also a line from Savitri on there, that famous line about...
Yes. To feel love and oneness is to live. And this, the meaning of our golden chain.
Yeah. the magic of our golden
The
change.
magic of our golden change.
So
Yes.
this is golden change, this money. So we make a little pun on the thing for, you see it. The idea behind it was to help all of us break the old money habits. Of course, if we exchange these, it's still like exchanging money, and Mother was looking for a cashless society. But the idea of this was step one, and but to make it risk-free, I connected it to the rupee. So 1 aura was 100 rupees. See, €1 is only 80 rupees, and I think $1 is something like 70 or 69.
Mhm.
So I wanted to, of course, surpass the euro and the dollar. So this was connected to the financial system, and Otto agreed to do it. He was reluctant, but he said he would not block the experiment. And a few people were very enthusiastic, wanted to do it, but really at the final thing that stopped it from really taking off were the accountants. Because the accountants said, no, you can't have this extra currency, we have to account for it, that means another set of books, that means this, that means that. They saw it from an administrative perspective. They couldn't keep it out of their system, because if it was in the financial system, it was part of that.
You had to account for it.
You had to account for it. So they're all backed up. They were all backed up. So each one is worth 100 rupees. But so now what we've done, we're demonetizing it. People like prime ministers can do those things. So I decided to demonetize this. So now it's not worth 100 rupees. Now it is an open currency that can float on the market. So you and I, Narad, can decide what this thing is worth, and we can use it for whatever we want. You give me a haircut, I'll give you one. You give it back, maybe I'll give you a massage. It's possible. All that is possible. It depends on the users. So all the auras that I have now, I'm going to give them out as gifts to people all around Oroville. And we'll just see what happens, what they do with them. If they make compost out of them, or whatever they do, we'll see what happens.
Well, this one's going to go into my archives.
Okay, go into the archive. See, that's the best thing when it was actually had monetary value. Some would get lost, but people had paid for them. See, they had put their 100. You could go to the financial service, give Otto 100 rupees, he'd give you one of these. And people did it. Quite a few people did it, and some visitors were very excited about this. So they went and they changed a lot of their money into these. And then they went, the only place, Krishna was taking them in solitude at the farm, he had the cafe, and also Anandi in the raw food restaurant. Anandi always supported me all the way. Auras, yes, please come. And I had a little sticker on her computer there, aura sharing. And she always supported that, but very few people did it. And so it was there for these, 8 years. And now we'll take it into another phase. And my next phase, of course, because these will all wear out and get lost, it'll be virtual. And then we'll do it on a phone app. And we'll be cashless and moneyless. And the vision of Oroville will come. Because, and that's why I took it away from the rupee. It was connected to the International Monetary Fund, because we know these currencies are going to collapse. We know that the dollar is just paper. And we know that, Putin and the Chinese told Trump, we will tolerate your dollar as long as it's useful. You stay out of North Korea, and we'll still tolerate, and we will tolerate your dollar. This is what an economist told me happened. So that dollar will go for a while, euro will go for a while, but then there's going to be some big changes. So we know that's coming, but we're ready. We have what we need, we're ready, and we're starting like the Green Papaya Collective and other experiments in Oroville, where we share the food, and we share, and basic needs can be covered for everybody. And we're also connected to another world project coming out of Korea for a currency that even takes fecal matter. It's called fecal standard money, shit to gold. So you poop in a high-tech toilet, it makes it into compost, it makes it into methane gas, you get credit on your phone for it. It's called a cool. This cool is honey in Korean. That's the translation. So these cools can be traded worldwide. You can buy things.
Even now?
Even now, only in the coffee shop in the university where the Science Walden project is happening. But he's got a village in Korea that's going to experiment, and they're asking if Oroville will do it, will try it. So 4 researchers came here last year to check it out. Now we're in the next stage of sending some data from Oroville to see whether they're ready to do it, and whether Oroville's ready. Because we had a meeting with the financial people in Oroville, and they're not enthusiastic about these things. They like the phone app, they like this or they like that, but they say, well, this won't work in Oroville, but this might. And so sometimes we just have to see. Maybe there's a small group, maybe like this Green Papaya Collective, that will actually do it. And it's connected also to basic income for everybody in the world, because everybody in the world, of course, does poop. So this is the end of race discrimination, gender discrimination, any demographic generation, because all human beings do this one act, which is an act of value, because that so-called waste is extremely valuable as compost, as energy. So it's a change of consciousness that has to happen, and it can easily happen. And I think it will happen under the pressure of what's happening now, because of the state, the evolutionary crisis on the planet, where you can see it everywhere. And people are going to look for these things, and they're going to go for them. And governments will change, currencies will change.
Do you have many scientists or forward-thinking people from the world come to Oroville?
Yes, you do. We do. They come. There were these water experts who were just here recently, because water is going to become a huge, huge issue. They had some recommendations. So they're coming. That's the great thing. And there are people like that come for collective intelligence. What's that guy's name? The French guy, Francois. His name slipped out of my mind, but he came and he gave some incredible lectures. He himself lives on gift economy, and he's a vegan, lives on this, just an amazing individual. And he said the collective intelligence, we have to tune into that, and then we can take care of our needs, and we can take care of the 8 billion people. We have the technology for it. We just need the consciousness. So, it's coming. I mean, the Oroville ideal is not something different from all these things. It's not something special and unique to South India or to the yoga of Sri Aurobindo. This is, as Sri Aurobindo said, a truth consciousness. This is supramental descending. So people may not have the vocabulary or even the understanding, but they have the energy, and they will feel that energy, and then they will act that energy. And that's what the evolution is calling us to right now.
Any people associated with physics or the earth in general come to speak? There was one man, I remember, a landscape architect, who was just brilliant.
Yeah. No, they come. They do come. All these ideas are coming to Oroville all the time, because those kind of people, they're responsive to Oroville, and Orovillians are enough now that they're in contact with people all over the world. And all the projects in Oroville, of course, relate to the other projects that are happening of a similar nature. And especially in the renewable energy field, in permaculture, and the new science, the new biology. People like Rupert Sheldrake, they know about Oroville.
He's come?
I
He's
think
come
he has.
to the ashram, I know.
Yeah, I think he's come to Oroville. I'm not sure. I know there are people in Oroville who know him.
Mm.
So there are many of those kind of people. I mean, I don't know many of them personally, but I'm sure that future is just we're right there. It's happening now. Because the future isn't going to happen someday. It's happening now.
Yes.
And all those seeds that we planted, the 2 million trees, all those seeds, they're going to.
It still blows my mind when you say that. I never remembered that we grew so many million trees.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
You see, sometimes I tell people, we wanted to plant 2 million trees, but we didn't. We planted more.
Yeah.
Because and you can ask people like Paul at the Botanical Garden, and some of these people, they've done calculations and studies now on Oroville, like how many trees are out there and all that sort of thing, and it's way beyond our early predictions. And of course, trees that we planted, like the acacias, of course, self-seeding all over the place.
Sure.
They're just invasive practically. But in a good sense, they are preparing the way for.
They're nurse trees.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly, and give wood, give lots of benefits that would not have come if we didn't have them. And now it's a good feeling when you're there. It's a good feeling, and it's the mother made real, because that energy, I don't know if people really understand, what it means, the universal mother, how it's that energy of love. And all matter is made out of that, because the mother is the manifestation, the creation. How people have to be able to sense with their soul that all matter is the mother, and all matter is love. And that love energy is dynamizing all of us and the whole universe. That's the Big Bang carrying on, all these billions of years. And everything we see is part of it. And we don't need to fall back into fear, scarcity, we don't have enough, me, mine, all that stuff, is just a kind of a delusion that we got somehow trapped in from time to time. And but it's dissipating, it's going away. People are waking up, we have to, and we get the pressure we need to do it. Because the evolutionary crisis is not just a theory. The global warming is there, the water's rising, and the temperature's going up, and things are happening, and the pollution is in your face, in the street. And I think we already said Delhi, you can hardly breathe. I was in Delhi last year, it's bad. It's bad. And not only Delhi, everywhere. Every urban environment needs work. And it can be done. All these things can be done. That's
It
the good
must be
part.
done.
Yeah, it must be done. It will be done. It is being done. That's the
Good. V, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
It's been a wonderful session.
It has. It really has.
Namaste.
Namaste.